Look, after hearing what that man said about the Somalis in Minnesota, I just got to say, clearly some of y'all needed to learn this lesson the hard way. Y'all didn't want to believe that Black Americans knew what we were talking about. You did not want to believe that. A lot of people have come to this country from different parts of the world, and the first thing they do in order to assimilate to American culture is adopt the mentality that Black Americans are just complaining and not trying to warn people who is in charge and how they feel about anybody that is not of a certain flavor. Y'all always say stuff like, I just got to work hard enough, get the right education, I got to behave a certain way. That is why these people are struggling. And as long as I don't act like them, I will not be in danger. And there's really no other way to explain it, That's how you feel. You teach your kids to think that way, all right? And it literally takes for them to say what that man said in order for you to start understanding that we were trying to warn you this whole time. That man literally said they're garbage. He said they're garbage and we don't want them in this country. But you know what's crazy? You know what's really crazy? You heard that one man say on CNN, they'll still vote Republican. They'll still vote alongside these people. I can't explain it, but they will absolutely keep trying to appeal to their abusers. Because at the end of the day, the sickness that I really believe has been, bred here in America is that sickness of convenience. And for some reason, it is more convenient to do everything you can to appeal to these people that don't want you here than actually take a stand and vote alongside or speak alongside or stand hand in hand, arm in arm with the same individuals who they are oppressing. Because what you really want is your shot at the top. That's what a lot of people really want. They want their shot at the top. It doesn't really, solidarity, all that stuff, they're not interested. It's like, call me crazy, but the longer Trump 2.0 goes on, I'm starting to think that the only group that did not vote with inherent selfishness and inherent cruelty was Black Americans. I would like to live in a different country now. Honestly, I'm kind of sick of this fever dream that we call America.
You never talk about racism enough in a certain community when most people have Eurocentric features. I don't know what it is. This happens in every community in Africa. The Somali community, the Sudanese community, the Ethiopian community. As long as you don't have the soft hair, the features, they automatically start saying you are not part of their culture. You're not from where they're from. I get this a lot. Every time I make a video saying that I am from Sudan or I speak Arabic, the Arabs, they all come for me. No way, she cannot be fully Arabic. No way, she can't be. She just can't be. And then you have the Sudanese people, the Eurocentric feature Sudanese people. No way, she can't be from Sudan. She has to be from South Sudan. Well, I'm really not even from South Sudan. And people from South Sudan don't all look alike. I could pass for South Sudanese too. And for regular Sudanese, nobody, like what? The racism, colorism, and all that, so real in Africa is not even funny. Like, for real, it's sad.
Now that Somalis are facing a turmoil in Minnesota, whereby Trump's administration have unleashed ICE agents to deport the people from that community. They are seeking assistance from the blacks. But today I want to bring a video of reactions of Black Americans, why they cannot stand with Somalis. Somalis have never stood with them, and Somalis claim that they can't, or rather they are not blacks because their hair is not that rough as compared to Black Americans. So let us watch this reaction and comment in the end.
Why do people always have misplaced anger when it comes to Black Americans? So I'm talking about how I see a lot of Somali people mad with Black Americans at their response to what is currently happening. But at the same time, I don't see those same people making videos about the white woman that called y'all the N-word at Cinnabon and said that she was openly racist. A lot of Black Americans have still had solidarity with them during this situation, but some of us just do not care. But you cannot be mad at Black Americans for not getting into your fights when that's not our fight to even get in. The same group of people who use microaggressions when speaking about Black Americans, like they are exempt from something, and now they are actually seeing the treatment that Black Americans have been talking about for decades, but they never wanted to believe it. They always thought it was our issue as to why we were being treated the way that we were being treated. I don't like diaspora wars. I feel like a person who is racist is going to treat all of us the same. If you are not of a certain ethnicity, of a certain race, they are not going to like you regardless. But for some reason, certain racial groups think that they are better than Black Americans, and they think that any type of treatment that Black Americans get is because of how they act. When no, they're racist. They don't like you either.
So I did a video that went viral, and it was basically a rant, and I was giving it from the perspective of a naturalized citizen, and I went all in on Ilhan Omar because I was tired of the falsehoods. She had made a statement talking about the fact that she's an American citizen and she can't be deported, but yet she had failed to make a distinction that there are two types of citizens, American citizens. There's natural born and naturalized, and I went ahead and gave the breakdown. If you check my page, you'll see the video. I've pinned it so it can provide you with more context. So the reason for this video is I wanted to kind of clap back on, one video that I had seen that has made its round on social media about a Somali woman who's going on social media ranting about the fact that she's not getting any support. Somalis are not getting support from, whether it's other fellow Africans or, Americans, because they go ahead and they help other people, but now that they need support and they need help, nobody's coming to their aid. Something to that effect, okay? So I want to respond to that, and I'm now talking from the perspective of an African, a Zambian, okay? But I'm talking in the context of an African. Somalis, let me tell you something about Somalis. Somalis are very self-centered group of people. When it comes to Africans, Somalis like to distance themselves from other African nations, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of other Africans in the comments who can vouch for what I'm saying. Time and time again, Somalis, when you tell them that they are Africans, they will quickly debunk that. They will tell you flat out, no, we're not Africans, we're Somalis. What? Are you kidding me? So they don't even want to claim that they are Africans. They will make that distinction and tell you that they are Somalis. But yet, Somalia is in the content of Africa. Okay. So what I've noticed about Somalis, and especially about the video that I had made, I'd seen a lot of comments from other Somalis that came into my comments saying that, I was making all these comments. I should be ashamed of myself as a fellow African, why I'm not supporting our Somalia, our Somali sister. You're an African, but you're not supporting, you're talking down on her. So again, these people are making that distinction, calling themselves Somalis. They're not even saying our African sister. So they want to separate themselves. But yet, these people, if they don't have that support, if you don't support Somalis and you're on the total opposite spectrum in terms of your thinking, they call other Africans slaves. They're calling us monkeys. They're calling us all these disparaging words, all these other Africans disparaging words when we don't support them. And quick to say that they are not Africans, they are Somalis. But now they want to cry for not getting support from other African nations. Like, can you see the hypocrisy here? So Somalis want support from other Africans when it's best convenient for them. Now that they're going through a crisis because now they're being called out for the amount of fraud that they're committing in America and all these shenanigans, all these things that are going on. Now they're calling for other Africans to come to their aid. No, I'll tell you something. When it comes to Ilhan Omar, I don't even claim her as an African. Heck, I don't even claim her as an American because she doesn't act like one. She's not an American. She's only an American by title because she got her citizenship. But even that's in question. So when it comes to Somalis, I'll be damned if you're going to come to me saying that you need support from me because I'm an African when you talk dirty and low down and disparaging to other African nations when they don't side with you. I'm quite honest with you when it comes to Somalis, from my observation, when it comes to dealing with other Africans, they're not very inviting. They're not very welcoming. They like to exclude themselves. They don't want to include themselves when they see other fellow Africans, instead of being like, hey, let's see another, we're seeing another African person here, let's have that camaraderie. They don't want to do all that. They want to just stick to themselves. So no, I'm not going to support them just because they are in the continent of Africa and they are Africans, but yet they never want to call themselves Africans. They always want to call themselves Somalis. And quite frankly, I just don't feel like Somalis are a true representation of Africans as a whole, because a lot of African countries, we demonstrate the spirit of Ubuntu. We like that community. We take everybody in. Other African nations, when we see other Africans, we embrace each other. Especially when we're in foreign lands. When you come across Somalis in a foreign land and they see other Africans, they don't care. So I don't care about them. I'll be honest. That's why they don't have my support. And I'm not just going to be supporting, Somali just because they're from Africa. But, they don't want to include themselves as other Africans. Nah, sorry. I can't do it. They are very selfish people. They're not nice. They're not nice people. I haven't encountered any nice Somalian, They mean mug you when you look at them, when they hear that you're from Africa, instead of trying to be embracing. Nah, I'm over it. Somalis, you're on your own.
Somali people have clearly stated that if you're a black American like myself, that we're not the same. They're saying, hey, no, we're Somali. You guys are American. I know we're the same skin color, but we're different. They're saying all Americans. So if you're from America here, no matter the color of your skin, they're going to take over all Americans. And they're saying we're Somali. So that's a clear distinction, clear difference. And they're saying, hey, no, we don't want to be them. We're not them. We're separate. Don't call us your brother. They're saying, you blacks in America, we're not your brothers. We're from Somalia. We have our own brothers. You guys have your own brothers, which is all Americans.
I mean, listen, some people could learn some stuff from them about how arrogant they is about this country that they are taking over.
So Trump is sending ICE to Minnesota for the Somalis. And I don't feel no way. I really, really don't feel no way. And the reason why I don't feel no way is because every time a black American tells Africans, you guys think you're white, you act like white people, you want to be like white people, I think about Somalis. I think about Somalis and people from Ethiopia and people from South Africa. And this video is not for all. So if it doesn't pertain you and you don't act this way, then keep on walking. But if it pertains you and you're mad about it, go and kick rocks. That would be a little bit better if you go and kick rocks. But anyway, every time a black American say something like that about Africans, I think about them and then I get mad because we're all put in one pot, right? So the ICE agents go into Minnesota. They said it's 81 million Somalians in Minnesota. That much? That's what they said. 81, not 81 million, my bad. 81,000 Somalians in Minnesota, right? But not only are they in Minnesota, but they're doing a lot of scamming. They are doing a lot of scamming that the state now is going to have to pay for. The hard-working taxpayers. You know, these Somalian people, I didn't say it, the news said it, that they was opening up foundations, they was opening up charities, right? And then they was scamming through them. They was saying that they was feeding 2,000 to 3,000 people at each branch when it was only 5 people and the rest of the names was made up. That's what the news says. And if that is true, if you was up there scamming, and you know what? I don't know this dude's name, but kudos to him. I think he's Somali. He's here on TikTok. He doesn't come on my For You page anymore, but he used to. He is Somalian, I think, because he was the only one. Remember when he used to do videos putting his foot on his people's neck, on Somalians' neck? And he was the first one who told us about all the frauds they come to this country and be doing. And then next thing you know, his own peoples, instead of listening to him and stopping the fraud, they went and swarmed him like the beehive and attacked him and started saying all this stuff to him about he's a traitor, he's this, he's that, when all he was doing was telling his people what they're doing is bad. You know what I noticed about life in America, right? When you hold the mirror up against a person's face, they get mad at you for what they see. They get mad at you for what they see, right? It's like, and I never understood that. How did you bring the problem here, but now everybody is talking about the problem? Now you're mad at the person doing the talking. We are not Americans. You cannot scam and think you're going to get away with it. This is why when family members be like, oh, my charity this and my charity that, I be like, I'm not getting involved. Because when the government is giving you money to do this work and that work, and you don't have the people that the amount of people the money belongs to, and then you're lying and creating all this shit just to get more money, that is wrong. That is wrong. I thought Nigerians was the only scammers, but it looked like Nigeria is number 1 and Somalians are number 2. Like, what are we doing here? You act like citizenships can't be taken away. You're even acting like birthrights can't be taken away. Now, I don't know if birthrights could be taken away, and I have gotten on plenty people's videos and told them that birthright citizenship can't be taken away. But I don't know. I don't know. If you in that house with the parent that's doing all types of scam, and they come and take everybody in the house, you think they're going to give 2 shits that you are a citizen and this is your country? No, they're going to take you back to your mama's country. And let me tell you something, you Liberians in Minnesota. Don't play with me. You better not get involved in that Somalian shit. Because you know them Somalis don't like us anyway. You know they think they the better looking Africans because they got the pretty hair and the slender nose. Not all of them. I'm talking to the ones who exile everybody from them. And they only want to be next to great whiteness. So they think, right? And to come to find out that you bitch ass Somalians went and voted for Trump, congratulations, you played yourself. You really did. And now you're getting exactly what you deserve. Don't call on no community. Do not call on us Liberians. Liberians, mind your business, because you know we are black first and Liberian second. You know we are black first and then Liberians second. And you know those people do not deal with us. They do not mess with us. They look down on us, talking about they Middle Eastern, talking about they Arabian or come from Iraq, whatever. Let them help you. Let them help. But my Liberian people, we are going to eat our jollof rice, swallow our fufu, stay in our house, and if you have to come out to work, walk with your documents, hurry up and go back home because this too shall pass.
Having watched these reactions and how people, rather black Americans, uh, give their claims about Somalis, what can you deduce from that? It shows that there is a huge difference in Africa, and this difference is something that can never be rather mended. I want to give you an example. You saw when African Cup of Nations were played, there was a lot of standoff between Senegal and Morocco in the finals, and a racism bit of it turned out. It shows that blacks in their continent, Africans in their continent, they still practice high level of racism, a high level of racism whereby some still want to be superior on another and regard others as inferior. So this issue of Somali facing rejection from black Americans is not new, because even the Somalis themselves are not claim that they are not part parcel of the black community. They say that they are not black, they are more closer to the whites. When George Floyd was killed by a rogue police officer, the same Somalis refused to stand with the black Americans in protest, because it was a situation whereby a rogue officer just openly killed someone, an innocent person, an innocent black American, and it required everyone to stand tall to castigate such acts. But the Somalis blatantly uh, ignored such a call, and they said, quote unquote, that blacks blacks are Africans. They are not pure Africans. Their origin is not from the black community. So hit our comment section and tell us what you feel about it. Also, if you're watching us for the first time, kindly subscribe to this channel. Thank you, and may God bless you.